It just gets better and better and better. Bradford City's summer transfer window has kicked off with an absolute flyer. Max Power promoted from League One, captain. Joe Wright, leader and captain at Kilmarnock, winning the Player of the Year. Curtis Still, captain at Salford. And now we've got Josh Nerville, the Player of the Year at Wimbledon, who has been an exceptional player for them over the last 2 seasons, and particularly last season with the Player of the Year award, being one of the best right wing backs in League 2. Nearly made my team of the season for League 2, very close, with I think 4 assists and 5 goals, played a big part in their playoff success. Obviously, I think he scored in the playoff final, but he's been an unbelievable player for Wimbledon, and what he offers Wimbledon is something completely different to what they have in the team. And what my fear with this team that we've got is a lack of pace and a lack of youth maybe and flair. And what we have with Josh Nerville coming into a team is youthful flair and a lot of pace, because he's so fast. And you do need those sort of tricky players who aren't going to be afraid to take players on. And like we had Riteo on the left side last season, that's what we've got on the right side now with Josh Nerville. He's definitely that type of player. What does it mean for Brad Halliday? Well, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on that. Like the video if you have gone to do so throughout the course of the video, and you can subscribe if you want to. But what does it mean for Brad Halliday? Because Brad Halliday was our player of the season, not last season, the season before, 23-24, and he was a really good player for us last season as well. Really recognised as a player who set standards and a leader, and a real worry on the pitch. But you look at Swindon away last season. I can't remember the winger they had. I think it were Mean or something. 17. I think he is really young, tricky winger who had a lot of flair and pace. He had Brad Halliday. He absolutely skinned him alive that game, unfortunately. And there was a few, maybe towards the end of the season, and specifically at the beginning of the season, he got outplaced in the team by Jay Ben. So he has had his flaws this season, there's no doubt about that. So I felt we needed someone who had such good competition with Brad Halliday to come into that role, who's very different to Brad Halliday. I don't particularly think Brad Halliday is the best one-on-one defender going back that way. I think when he's aggressive, there's not many like him in League 2, but then the jump to League 1, it is a big jump. And I think going forward, he does leave a bit to desire. I think he's obviously chipped in with big goals over his time at Bradford City, but he is a bit of a diver in the final third. He does stop and overthink putting a cross in sometimes, and I think you can do better going forward and defensively than Brad Halliday in League 1. I don't think there's many better in League 2. So that's why I felt like it was a bit of a priority to bring in a right wing back who could compete and outplace Brad Halliday this season. Outplace if you really mean intent. And you've done it by bringing in a player who would have been a direct rival in the AFC Wimbledon, who are fighting with us to stay in League 1, and we've replaced their player of the season. So there's also that aspect of it, that we can lure in a player who's also come up with us away from their team and see us as a bigger, more attractive football club, and we are. No disrespect to Wimbledon, they're a big club in their own right with many different reasons beyond that, but at the end of the day, they haven't got the fan base, and they can't recreate what we created after that full-time whistle when we beat Fleetwood. Not many clubs can. That is a lure that not many clubs can create, not even the biggest in League 1. And that's what playing for Bradford City is all about. And in terms of character, I have no doubt, like I've repeated, and I will continue to say it, in Graham Alexander, in David Sharp, and in Ryan Sparks. We've got to give him the credit, and he has been able to experience the lows and the highs now at Bradford City, so he knows what that takes as well, and he's been getting a lot of criticism, but he does deserve his appreciation, and he deserves a bit more respect, I think. But there's going to be more to come on that, but I think he has been getting a lot of unfair flack at the minute, and I've been one of his biggest critics, but come on. But anyway, we've got to give him a bit of respect and due praise as well for these signings. And Josh Nerville is one of the best signings possibly in League 1. I really think that so far. Because he's just got everything you want. He can go forward. I mean, hopefully, dependent on breaking a leg. But let's hope the phrase break a leg means that the encouragement rather than the actual he has broke his leg. But he can go forward, and he's so quick at doing it. He was the outlet for Wimbledon. I mean, Bugle's a big lad up there, but they could play the diagonals and behind the top of the defence for Neufville to run in behind her, and he'd outpace a defender. He could stretch defences. He could take players on his direct. Like I say, he's got flair and he's got the pace, but he's also a really good crosser of the ball, quite accurate with his crosses, and Wimbledon really profited from that. But what we've also got to take from that is, it's great going forward, but Wimbledon were one of the best defensive teams in the AFL last season, and they were the best in League 2. Barely conceded goals, and that's why they got promoted. He was part of that. He was part of that defence. He's great going forward, and that was the main reason he was so good for Wimbledon as the outlet. But he was part of the best defence in League 2. You can't underestimate that. And he had a big part to play in that, with his tackling, his positioning, and his understanding of what a defensive right wing back takes. He wouldn't have been playing if he wasn't, interested in defending, because Johnny Jackson's not the type of manager who would stand for that. So he's obviously great going backwards and going forward. So he's a complete right wing back from League 2 and was one of the best. And when you've got the outsider pundits going, well, this is a big signing for Bradford, then you've got to take from that and go, look, we're getting the respect from other people who haven't even respected us for good signings previously, and they are for these four, and particularly Josh Nerville, and what a signing he is. And he's 25. The youthful aspect of it, there's a lot of criticism for, we signed people over 30s, it's like Cocoon. Well, yeah, it might be, but at the end of the day, you need those experienced players to get you over the line. If we just continue to sign 5 more 30 plus year olds, it probably would get concerning. I'd expect us to maybe sign 1 or 2 more, but you're going to sign 3 or 4 under 25s, and 3 or 4 loans are going to come in as well. And Josh Nerville, in at 25, he's still got a lot of time to develop and to progress his career. He's on a 3-year deal. He's definitely the type of player you can profit from. So ticking all them, and he's also that we need that. You do need a balance of your team. You can't just go full experience. You can't go full youth. You've got to find a middle ground, and Josh Nerville's perfect at us finding that middle ground. And character, like I say, I don't doubt the people making the business to sign the right characters to play for Bradford City. So I'm absolutely thrilled with this signing, and I've been throughout. Does it change your expectations? Well, let me know. I mean, it's worth noting that everyone's saying that Neufville can play on the left side of the left wing back as well, and he can. There's no doubt about that. But I wouldn't want to see him there. I think I'd much rather see him in right wing back competing with Brad Halliday. But it's good to have versatility in your team, and he can probably play. Well, he can play as a 10 because our 10s can be more wingers as well. So he's got that versatility to his game that we can play him in different positions, providing we get injuries, and we are gonna. So I think that's a real positive to his game as well. Versatility is a great thing. It is. So left wing back, it has opened up the potential of, is he going to be a left wing back more than a right wing back? Because does it mean Richard's not going to sign? Is he going to be a backup to Richards? Does it mean Teo's not going to sign? I won't look too far into that. I'd think, well, you either get one of Richards or Teo. I think that's probably what we do. If we don't, I'd fully trust a team to bring in someone who's just like them, maybe Ibutore. But if not, I fully trust that left wing back to be as the standard as we've expected from the last 2 we've had. And if he's on the right side, then that's covered. We've got the balance of them too, and I think that's a fantastic thing. So I'm really looking forward to watching him play. He's a really exciting player, loves to take players on, and that's the type of player we want to see at Bradford City. So I think it probably could be. You've got Halliday and Nerville are very different players. So you probably go with one more. Allarday's probably better defensively, although I think there's question marks over that in League 1. But you do probably go with Halliday, and then maybe if you get a more attack-minded left wing back with a more defensive one, you go with them on that side. So it means we can be very adaptable as well, which I like about the siding. Very pleased. Very, very pleased. So I can't wait to watch him in Claret and Amber, and he can't wait to play in Claret and Amber. He said it would take a very special football club to move away from AFC Wimbledon. So, and that is what we can learn. Now, it's worth just telling you, I mean, you might have already seen it, but during the 2024-25 season, Josh Nerville was the only player across England's top 5 tiers to record 35 plus interceptions, 40 plus successful dribbles, 50 plus successful crosses and 75 plus tackles. That is monstrous activity from Josh Nerville. I couldn't believe it when I saw that. I thought, only player to record 4 of them. That is unbelievable. I couldn't really speak about that because I just thought, well, how is that possible that we've then signed that player, and how is it possible that he's been so good at that? I didn't realise how good he was really when I saw that. So that is unbelievable, quite frankly. And it's like I say, it just echoes how great the signing is. I can't believe he pulled it off. I really can't. So it just echoes again how strong our recruitment's been this summer, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of this type of recruitment because I think it's going to come more and more. I think I'd expect a couple more experienced players like we've been seeing throughout this window so far, but then I think you can expect maybe 3 or 4 more Josh Nerville types who are 21 to 25, who are young and hungry and want to play in such a big atmosphere. But they are harder to find, but I don't doubt that we can find them. So let me know your thoughts on Josh Neufville in the comments down below. Do you think he's here to replace Brad Halliday? Do you think he's here to play left wing back? Let me know your thoughts on all things considered, and like the video if you did do so. It is massively appreciated, all support we've been getting, and thanks again for 1,000 subscribers. Still can't believe that has been achieved, so thank you very much for watching and have a good one.